In this video, I'm going to take you along with me as I shop for products that I use to make these Geode Resin art sculptures. I'm also going to give you a few tips on what I look for when I'm sourcing raw materials to make Geode Resin art with, so stay tuned. So I'm about to take a trip with Kiwi and I. We're about to go to Home Goods. So we're going to take this ride. I'm going to go look around the store and see if there's anything I can find to use for my Opulux Designs crafts. I source a lot of my products from auctions, Home Goods and Michael's, also Home Depot, Lowe's, hardware stores, craft stores, and search and find type stores. So I get my stuff from a lot of places. But yeah, we're about to take this little, I would say a road trip, because I am going to go out of my way to this one particular store when there's several more that are closer to me. But I like the ride, so let's go. So when I'm out running errands like this, I like to really take my dog. So I choose places that are pet friendly, and Home Goods is one of those places that I love to shop because not only do I find decent stuff, but I'm able to bring my babies. I found that if I'm able to bring my dog somewhere, I usually stay there longer, so it's a win-win for both me and the store. So one of my first stops in the store is always the aisle with all the cutting boards. Their cutting board aisle is my favorite because it has a bunch of natural wood cutting boards, and wood is the preferable surface to be doing resin art on. Since doing resin art on surfaces like this, there are a few things that I learned that you want to look for when creating resin art on cutting boards like this. So first of all, you want to go for surface size. You want to make sure that you have enough space on your cutting board to actually do a design. The second thing you want to make sure is that it has no branding. So that way you can brand it yourself and there's nothing leading back to the original manufacturer. And another thing you want to make sure is that the quality, the weight, and even things like small details like this handle, you want to make sure that all of those are unique and are able to fit all your needs when it comes to doing your resin art. I look for traits like this because it makes it different, and usually Home Goods doesn't sell things that you can find easily anywhere else. So I feel like the more unique find that you see in there, you better snatch it up. Even little items like this, what is it, like a fish bowl? I feel like I would possibly use something like this if the surface area of the wood was bigger. So, I mean, I have done something like this before where I took a branch and I did geode on it, but I didn't have enough space to be really creative. So yeah, I would need more flat surface area. And speaking of surface area, how lucky was I to run into this wooden piece? I literally was making this video on a whim, not knowing if I was going to find anything, but how perfect is this find? And the price is right up my alley. It's basically around the same amount that I would pay for the ones that I bought at the auction. So this is perfect. And now I'm excited because I found this unique gem. Now I'm basically going to go to other Home Goods and see if I can find anything similar. Because one thing I noticed about Home Goods is that they'll scatter the same design across multiple locations. So we're going to go back at this again tomorrow. But in the meantime, in between time, I am so excited about my piece. And let's take a walk back into my office and set this down so you can see really what I'm talking about. Alexa, turn on my lights.
Okay.
So as you see, I have a collection of wooden materials and cutting boards that I've did my resin art on, and they all have a large surface area. So I'm excited. I'm going to go back tomorrow and I'm going to see if I can find more pieces. So this time around, I'm going to take my other dog, Zion. I like to take my dogs one at a time because together they're a little rambunctious. So yeah, one-on-one time is better for my dogs. My Zion is 12 years old. He gets a little grumpy. He gets tired fast. He doesn't like walking as much anymore. He gets really lethargic. So I pick and choose where I take Zion. And Kiwi, she goes anywhere because she's only 2, so she has all the energy in the world. But I love my rides with Zion. I know he appreciates them, but he has a good 2 hours tops before he's ready to go. But little does he know, we're going to 2 stops today. Yeah, we're going to 2 different Home Goods today. So here we are at the second Home Goods, our first one of the day actually, but we're going to go inside and see what we can find. So now we're at this different location of Home Goods, and I know what exactly I'm looking for at this point. So first things first, I'm going to head over to the cutting board aisle and just see what they have in stock. So that way we can just see a few things and give you a few pointers on what to look for when you're shopping around in Home Goods. So I made it over to the cutting board aisle and actually didn't find anything special, but something did catch my eye that I want to talk about. I did find a cutting board that already had resin art design on it, and I thought that was cool because that means an artist sold a project that they did to Home Goods, and Home Goods is now selling it in their store. I feel like that's the level of creativity I want to be on, is to be able to do something like that and people be able to buy it. But anyway, moving on to the third Home Goods, our second one of the day, because I didn't really find anything of substance in the second one. I did come to this one and I found something to be a little bit more usable with teaching y'all something. So I want you to take note how this piece of board can actually be used. Even though it has a logo on the handle, you can just pour really dark resin over that so that it completely covers, and you would be able to use that. But I walked around a little bit more, and guess what I found? Yeah, not one, but honey, I found two. Yeah, mind blown, okay? I was so excited. I cannot believe my luck. Well, I did actually drive around specifically looking for these sculptures because one Home Goods had it. But the fact that I found two more that were actually perfect for me to use, these were absolutely coming home with me. If I had the energy and the willpower to go to more Home Goods in the state of Florida, I probably would. But I feel like these three that I've acquired so far would be plenty. But I keep thinking, what was my luck that I decide that I want to go to Home Goods to create a video on how to source products, and I find the first product that I wanted to show you in the first store. Like, you can't make this up. So then I go on a mission to go find the other ones, and I actually do. I feel like I'm so favored. Like, this is crazy. I'm so happy I got to spend time with my dog. He's good and tired and ready to get back home so he can take a proper nap. And I'm ready to get home to just look at my collection of what I just acquired. What started out as something so random actually turned out to be one of the best decisions I could have made, because now I'm going to show you what I can possibly turn those wooden sculptures into. So displaying them one by one, I'm going to show you what I've acquired. So this is the first one that I got from the first Home Goods that was in Tampa. These next two are the ones that I got from the third Home Goods that was in Brandon. So I first came across sculptures like this by random. I happened to wander into an auction hall that had these sculptures sitting about, and I was able to bid on them and basically place my offer. And because no one bid against me, I paid about $50 a piece for them. And ever since then, I've been on the hunt for such pieces, and it's been a while since I've came across them, and I've actually never came across them in Home Goods before. So this was actually my first time. The pieces I've acquired over time were the following pieces. So I got all of these next pieces from the auction house, and they were on two different occasions. And it was just so random that I've even come across these in two different times in my life. And I bought all of these on those two different times. But what you'll notice is all of the pieces I bought earlier are pretty much covered in resin. And it's because that I realized that when doing my art pieces, the wood sucks up the resin so much that you have to prime it with resin first, so that way you're able to actually pull off a design. But here are the designs I actually created with what was originally wood sculptures. What's funny is no one probably would have thought to use such a thing to actually do resin art on, but that's just how my mind works. I see something and I think, oh my goodness, that would look so much better like this or like that. I truly have an artist's mind, so I hope that what you see here inspires you to just look a little deeper at what's around you and maybe hunt a little bit more for unique finds such as these. But just make sure you save a little bit for me, because now that I've tried my luck and was successful at hunting something like this down on the first try, I'm going to continue to keep my eye peeled for these. But what you can look for in the future are tutorials and visuals on how and what I turn these into. So if you're interested in something like that, read the description and I'll leave some details on my courses, some of the free videos, and give you some more details on how to see me on all my other channels, because I don't post the same things across all of my platforms. And if you don't mind, I'd like for you to leave in the comments what other different materials have you used to create resin art on that was not really the usual. It would be interesting to hear y'all takes on the different things that y'all use and how y'all turned it into masterpieces that you were later able to make money from. But as a little secret, I tend to keep everything that I make. I fall in love with all of my pieces. So maybe one day I'll end up selling these pieces to someone who deserves them, because right now I feel like the only one who deserves my art is me. In the meantime, I'm just going to start sketching up some designs and looking for inspiration in other things so I can find some inspo on what to turn these into. But for now, I'm just going to put these up where I can see them every day, and maybe one day I'll be inspired to pour on these like I did my other ones. So while I wait for this inspiration to hit me, I'm going to store them in my office right here. I'm so thankful I was able to acquire these. I'm so thankful I have a place to display them so I can see them every day and get inspired. And I'm so grateful that y'all stayed this long and watched all of this video. So if you made it this far and haven't subscribed by now, do me a favor and subscribe, like, maybe leave a comment. I appreciate you.